Joining us live in the studio are political insiders. They've already started. We had to cut them off already.
I'm smiling because all I have to do to start this conversation is say one word.
Yep.
Obamacare. Go.
Tony, Charlie, who's first?
We'll go right ahead.
Well, of course the governor is going to knock Obamacare. He's not, but he hasn't read the bill yet, but he knows he's not sure about it, and yet he doesn't want to participate in the full benefits of Obamacare that would offer Medicaid benefits to another 800,000 Pennsylvanians. I mean, it's all over the lot. So, Charlie, how can you defend them on this?
Tony, nobody has read the bill because you can't. If you remember Nancy Pelosi, she said we have to pass this so we can figure out what's in it. And as we figure out what's in it, guess who now is coming around with a hue and cry that Republicans have been raising for a long time? The Democrats, especially those who are up for election next year. Max Baucus says it's a train wreck. Jay Rockefeller, who isn't running, so he can now tell the truth a little bit more, says it's unduly complicated. And you've got Catherine Colbert Bush, Stephen Colbert's sister, is running for Congress down in South Carolina, running away from Obamacare as fast as she can. And they should.
So what's your solution?
What's your solution? My solution would be to repeal it and start over. And I think, Tony, for the first time, there's a serious discussion about that happening. This is a massive train wreck. That's Democratic language at this point. People are going to lose their jobs. They're going to have their wages cut. They're going to have all sorts of damages visited upon them because of Obamacare. The estimates now are that 30 to 40 million Americans are going to directly suffer because of this provision. I mean, it's really crazy. Small businesses, the ones that have 50 or less employee, or 50 or more rather, employee provisions placed upon them, are going to somehow figure out ways to get under 50. That means that jobs are going to be lost. Because of this provision that you can work 30 hours or less and be exempted, guess what? The 10 million Americans who work part-time 30 to 40 hours a week.
So where were you when this bill was being debated?
I was out there on the front lines, Tony, saying
don't do anything. You said don't do anything.
Tony, I never said that. The Republicans never said that.
You said you wanted a private payer plan, so this is what you have.
Tony, there were, from the beginning, a lot of serious reforms to address the health care issues that you're concerned about. But to try to force Americans into this single-payer plan, which is ultimately what this is designed to do, because all these calamitous results that we're now seeing, many are suggesting, were baked into the bill in the first place as a means of self-destructing it so that we could get what the Democrats could never get directly in Congress.
Do you see it being repealed?
I see the bill as being, I think as Charlie said, is correct. We need a single-payer plan. That's what we've always needed. Republicans fought it, so we gave them what they wanted, and now they hate it. It's just what FDR said. You're never going to give them democracy, and they're not going to be able to swallow it. I'm sorry, Charlie, that you don't like what you wanted back 5 years ago.
I did not want it, but I will say this. Governor Corbett is right, and there are a myriad of problems with this particular statute that you're so in love with, but you haven't read either. And as the chickens come home to roost, we're finding out that it is almost impossible to implement. The administration itself will admit that they're light years behind where they're supposed to be. Obama's own czar in charge of implementation says he hopes this doesn't turn into a quote-unquote third world experience. I mean, that's what his own supporters are saying. You can't have this gargantuan takeover of the healthcare system in this country without having these results. People are going to be definedly and seriously hurt by Obamacare. It is not providing what it promised. People know it, and I will tell you this. The Obamacare legislation was a driving force behind the so-called sea change election in 2010. I see a sequel in 2014 because implementation of Obamacare is really going to kick in at the end of this year.
Charlie's off of his medications. That's the problem.
Is that your final thought?
That's my last word.
That's his final thought. All right. We'll leave it there.
I told you one word. One word. That's all we needed.
All right. We can catch our political insiders every Tuesday right here on CBS 21 News at 5:30.